Good day, my dear students. We are now in our quarter 2, week 6, day 2 lesson. So our objective for this day, we're going to identify the biotic components and give the important role in ecosystem. Okay, so biotic factor is a living organism that shapes its environment. So example, we have plants, animals, an algae, fungi, bacteria, and phytoplanktons. And there are a lot more. Biotic factor is divided into three parts. We have producers, is also known as autotrophs, and we have consumers, also known as heterotrophs, and the third one is decomposers, also known as detritivores. So the first one is autotrophs, or also known as producers. These are organisms that can produce its own food using light, water, carbon dioxide, or other chemicals. So because autotrophs produce their own food, they are sometimes called producers. So here are examples of autotrophs or producers. We have plants, an algae. Okay, so we have phytoplankton, and some types of bacteria are autotrophs. So nahahati po sa two major classes ang ating producers. We have photoautotrophs, yung mga organisms na nag-undergo ng photosynthesis like plants and green algae. So we have chemoautotrophs, yung mga organisms naman like some rare bacteria na nag-undergo naman ng chemosynthesis. Yung photosynthesis process, yung organisms gumagamit ng light, energy from the sun, while chemoautotrophs naman, yung nag-undergo ng chemosynthesis na organisms, hindi sila gumagamit ng energy from the sun or light from the sun. Instead, iba yung source ng energy na ginagamit nila like methane with oxygen. Okay, so here are an example of an algae. So green algae can undergo photosynthesis because it contains chlorophyll. And here we have phytoplanktons. Ito naman ay makikita natin sa oceans. So producer din sila. Most organisms in the oceans, or rather in the ocean, ay nakadepende sa kanila for food. Biotic factor, we have consumer, or also known as heterotrophs, organisms that eat other living organisms in order to obtain energy. So example, we have goat, an alligator, human, kasama tayo dyan, we are consumer, cows, and the likes. So nahahati po sa three categories ang consumers. We have herbivores, yung mga kumakain ng plants. The second one is carnivore, yung mga kumakain naman ng animals. And then the third one, omnivores, eat both plants and animals. So here are an examples of an animal that feed on plants. Okay, we have horse, a deer, and a rabbit. So here are an examples of a carnivore animal. So we have a tiger. We have here a tiger. So we have a lion, and we have here a crocodile. The last one is decomposer or decomposers, also known as detritivores. These are organisms that use organic compounds from producers and consumers as their source of energy. They are important to ecosystems because they break down materials from other living things into simpler forms, which can then be used again by other organisms. So here are an examples of decomposers. We have the soil bacteria right here. We have the fungi, worms, flies, and other organisms that break down dead materials or waste products from other life forms.